Hey everyone, so today I want to do a review slash comparison of the different neutral palettes that I own. I get a lot of questions on my channel just basically asking me which I prefer and why I prefer them and just comparing them to one another. So I want to do a video so I can give you a more in-depth comparison and show you why I prefer some over others and basically give you my opinions and compare them just side by side so you guys can see for yourself and maybe make your own decisions, and you could possibly pick out a palette that you think is best for yourself. So I'm gonna let you guys make your own decision, but I'm gonna give you my opinions along the way. So first I'm going to start with the Urban Decay Naked palette. The two that I'm going to compare are the Naked 1 and the Naked 2, just because I think that they're very similar. So I want to show you guys why I don't love them so much. I would love to like them, but I just feel like they don't do much for me. And the top palette is the Naked 1. And as you can see, holding them side by side, they're just so similar. I feel like the colors are very interchangeable, and I just don't understand why they would make two palettes that are just so similar in color. One is a little bit more warm, whereas the other is a little bit more cool. But if I had to choose one of the two, I would definitely choose the Naked 1, just because I feel like they have two mattes. This is your highlight color, which is more of a satin, but it's still pretty decent. And the reason why I choose the 1 over the 2 is just for the simple fact that these two blending colors are better than the ones offered in the Naked 2, which is here at the bottom. At the bottom, the only blending shade you have is this color Tease, which I absolutely hate. I feel like you need a matte shade that is similar to your skin tone, if not a little lighter or a little darker. And I feel like they only offer one, so that doesn't really appeal to a broad skin tone arrangement, and I didn't like that about it. And not only that, but in the Naked 1 and the Naked 2, they both include the color Half Baked. Yes, it's a gorgeous color. I do really enjoy it, but I think that they could have done a little better when coming up with the color selection, just because I feel like they could have made another matte shade in this one versus just one that is a transition shade. So I didn't love that. And not only that, I don't know, just like look for yourself. And I don't suggest it to people just for that reason. I just don't think they're that beneficial. I feel like you'll be reaching for other shades. They have some nice colors in here, but I do feel like you'll need other shades, in my opinion, to complete a look. So I don't like that. And I don't love that there's 12 eyeshadows and only 2 of which are matte. Like, I feel like they could have done a better job as far as coming up with a better matte selection. They're $52, and I feel like for $52 they should be close to perfect, and I don't feel like they're quite on that level. The next two palettes I'm going to show you are the Naked 3 and the Lorac Unzipped, just because I feel like they're very similar. The Naked 3 is my favorite out of all the Naked palettes. I love it. It's completely different from the Naked 1 or 2. And the Lorac Unzipped palette is nice as well. As you can see, I'm going to hold them side by side, but the color selection is very similar. I feel like with the two, you're able to create similar looks just because the color selection are so close to each other. This one retails for $42, whereas this one retails for $52. This one has 10 shadows, whereas this one has 12, but these are a little bit bigger in size, so I feel like you'll definitely get a little bit more out of this one because they are bigger shades and you won't be hitting pan as fast as you would on the Naked 3. The Naked 3 has a dud in it. It is the color Dust. If you've watched my Urban Decay Naked 3 review, you know that this color is not that great to work with, and I know that this color trick can be a little tricky as well. And in this palette, it does have a dud as well, and it is the color Undiscovered, which I have a problem with. So they both have their downfalls, but I do feel like the matte colors in here are really nice. You're able to blend. You don't need to go to other palettes in order to create a look. You can do it just solely using this palette. I like that they have a matte highlight tone, they have a medium color matte, and then they have a darker color matte, which can be used on any skin tone. If you're lighter or deeper, you can change whichever one you would like, which I really enjoyed about this palette. And the Lorac Unzipped palette, I did like this a little bit better as far as mattes go, just because the colors are light to medium to dark, and you can use these not just for in your crease, you can use them to deepen up your V, like this color right here. And this one's a good transition shade if you're darker in color, but if you are lighter in skin tone, this is definitely a really good shade as well. And I feel like these two could be used on either skin tone, which I really enjoyed about it. And then it's got a matte highlight tone as well. So this palette was really good. I prefer this one a little bit over the Naked 3 just because the price point is a little better, and I feel like this is more appealing to every skin tone, which this one is too, but I feel like this one's just a little bit better. The other three I'm going to talk about, the first of which is the Lorac Pro. I rant and rave about this on my channel. I love it so much. And the reason why I love it so much, the matte tones in this are amazing. They have every color under the sun. This has 8 matte and then it has 8 shimmery. So you are able to use these mattes to deepen up your crease. You use them for your outer V. They're just so diverse, and they have every color that you could possibly think of, from black to pink to white. You have your brow bone highlights, you have your transition shades, and you have other shades to deepen up your crease. You have a versatile color selection for your shimmery as well, which I think is nice. The colors are so beautiful and they're so pigmented. This is my favorite palette of life just for that reason. And I think that you're able to do so much with this. You can take this on a trip and not need any other palette, just because it's not just neutral, it's also got some fun colors in it as well. And this is why I suggest this to people so much. You can create so many different looks. You're not confined to only like browns or golds or things like that. I love that they split them up half and half, so you're able to have a selection of blending colors and colors to use to deepen up your crease. So this is why I suggest this palette so much. Benefit any skin tone, light to medium to dark. You are just golden when it comes to this palette, just because it's so versatile, and that is definitely something I look for in palettes. The Balms NudeTude, I want to talk about this too, just because in comparison to the Naked 1 and 2, I feel like this is a better palette to have. It's got a good amount of matte. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 mattes, and it's also got, the rest are shimmery. It's got brow bone highlights, but I like the selection they have in here because they're not all so close in color. They've got a burgundy, which is really pretty. They've got really nice transition color. This can be a transition color as well. And you have a matte black to deepen up your outer V, and you have this deep dark brown you can also use to deepen up your outer V. And I feel like this can be a little bit more versatile than the Naked 1 and 2 because they offer different shades of neutral colors, so I did like that about it. And this is definitely a lot cheaper than the Naked 1 and 2. Those are $52, whereas this one is about $20 or $25 if you look on Amazon. When looking at the price point, this one can definitely be like more beneficial if you are looking for something more affordable and that's quality. I do love their shadows. They're very creamy, they're very pigmented, and I have not had a problem with them. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette. This is such a beautiful palette. I love it. I just did a review on it. And this is a neutral palette to me, but it's a neutral palette that's fun. You can have, you know, your shimmery looks because they have some that include glitter. I don't know if you're able to see it. Then it's got nice highlight tones. It's got great transition tones. And like I said before, this palette is really nice just because it can be versatile towards any skin tone because they have light to medium to dark. They have more than just the neutrals. They have purple and pink and stuff like that. And then they've also got this beautiful olive tone. And then it's also got your neutrals like your golds and your browns. So I feel like this palette is really nice as well. This one retails for $49. So it is a little bit more expensive, but it is cheaper than the Nakeds. And this has 16 shadows in it versus the 12, and I feel like the quality of these are a little bit better, I would say, and the color selection is just a little bit nicer and more appealing if you're looking for a neutral palette. So those are my opinions of each and every palette that I have that is more neutral based, and I wanted to share this with you just so you guys can see the differences, and I hope this helped because I know that it can be a little bit confusing looking at one, but I wanted to show you from my perspective what I think is more beneficial and let you guys make your own decision for yourself. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye guys.